Welcome back to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. I'm Rosa.
I'm still Sharyn.
Thank you for joining us another week of Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. We really do appreciate you all doing that each and every week. Thank you. So for those who may be new, first time joining us, we thank you. We ask that you like, share, and subscribe to our videos. So if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. Also, before we get into today's topic, I just want to say that Sharyn had a birthday this past week. So we did like the birthday weekend. And I posted some pictures on our community page. So if you all want to go there and take a look, there's a small little video on there so you can see some of the things that she did for her birthday.
Wait a minute, or was done to me.
Oh no, we went hot air ballooning, and that really was her idea.
Yeah,
Y'all don't look at me like I'm trying to kill her or something. That's not it. That was her idea. I was the one that actually was nervous, but go take a look so we can just share some of Sharyn's birthday with you all as well.
Right,
so.
and for so many of our friends out there in lesbian land, I have to thank all of you who participated because it was quite a nice gathering, and I just enjoyed it. It was a lot of love in the room, and you just... it was just a good feeling, and I am so very thankful to still be on the planet for 67 years. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Somebody getting, I'm really grown now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
But
thank you all for your shout outs too.
Yeah.
Who shouted Sharyn out.
Right.
We did have a good time.
Thank you. So what are we doing today?
And last one, wait a minute, before we get into today's topic, I just want to say that we are still having our Pride Party.
Yes.
So if you're interested, we did get some hits from our subscribers who are looking forward to coming out. So if you're coming out, please hit us up quickly because it is filling up, and we want to make sure we want our subscribers there as well. So definitely go to the site. It's in the community as well to see the flyer. Sharyn's number is there, or you can just text her number if you know it anyway.
Right.
And let us know you want to come, and we'll send you information on how to do that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, to get those tickets.
I think that's it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Anything else you want to tell them?
Yeah, just happy Pride. I'm just gonna, go there every week for right now. Happy Pride. Happy Pride.
Absolutely.
Pride.
Yeah.
So today's topic is. Oh, wait a minute. We gotta do our shout outs.
Oh yeah,
shout outs.
I know, but you were just going. I didn't want to stop you.
I know. I'm trying to fit everything in before we can do our shout outs. So
right. Shout outs.
Do our shout outs for today. First shout out goes to Charlotte M. Thank you for being a subscriber to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. And we have Inna. Thank you. And last but not least, Real Chat with Toya. We got all of your messages. Thank you for your comments. We thank you.
Yeah.
So
whew.
Now we're gonna get into
you feel almost worn out.
I know. I feel like I've done a whole show already. But before we do that, today's topic is kind of a combination of two suggestions that we received from our subscribers. Yes. So one of them wanted to talk about how Sharyn and I met, what our wedding was like. She wanted us to share pictures, which I will put in the community as well, or maybe even at the end of this video.
The answer is yes, we will, but just not right now.
And then someone else asked us to talk about how do you know
that you got the right one,
have the right one, or in love, or you want to marry them, whatever. She just wanted to know, how did we know? So we're just kind of combining them since we are a married couple, and we'll talk about how do you know you have the right one.
Yes.
So how do you know you have the right one is our topic for today.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
You want to start?
Oh, yeah, I do. It's we've been doing a couple of kind of really deep shows, and then we try to sometimes pull it up and make it happy and a little lighter, if you will. But these are just this is for everybody in lesbian land, or if you visit lesbian land, or you the mayor of lesbian land. You've been around for a while, and we know we're all women just loving each other. But no matter what, everybody sometime, somewhere in one of your relationships or the relationship, you would kind of ask yourself, how do I know this is the right one?
Right.
Because you thought the last one was the right one. Or maybe you've been with a couple who you know ain't the right one.
Right. Right. I think we kind of know when it's not the right one from the gate, but how do you know when it is?
Yeah, and I don't think it's surely. Oh, we also need to tell you that we're not experts. We don't have 7 PhDs between us or anything like that. We just done a lot of living and a lot of introspection, and we share a lot of what we've learned in this life. All right, and I'm the old lesbian that's been around for.
She's learned the most. Is basically what she want to say.
Well, and wait. To quote Michael Jordan, make a lot of baskets because I took a lot of shots. If you know what I mean, but that was long ago and far away until I met my Rosa. So staying on point, somewhere in your journey, I'm sure, if you haven't already, you will. You just want to know if the person that you're connected with, you're spending this quality time with, you know you love her, you're hoping that she loves you too, and the way that you want to be loved. How about that? And you've been at the bat several times and struck out. But this one, you think this may be the one. Mm-hmm. Okay? Really. Throw all the pictures away of whoever I ever was even in appearance with. This is the one, I tell you. And we hope for you that she is. Mm-hmm. But today's question is, how do you know? How do you know, Rosa, that you that you got the right one? And so, as Rosa said, we're going to break it down in 2 parts, which is the question that said, how do you know? How can you tell? Mm-hmm. And for the people who wanted a little bit more, how did you guys do it kind of thing, we'll tell you how we ran this thing called our love affair. How we ran our business. So you might not agree with it, but that's what we did. So how do you know? And as you guys know, we do not rehearse the show. Rosa shares her perspective on things. I share mine. And oftentimes we're surprised at each other's answer. And I'm going to tell you this. As far as today's topic, I don't think you ever truly, truly know that this is the one. You may want to believe it is. You know that she ain't got all the crazy, she doesn't look like Crazy Daisy or the last 3 people that you dated. You know if your gut's telling you this, and look, even your family likes her. You can only make decision based on the information that you have. Mm-hmm. And y'all all know, because we got friends and loved ones and everybody else, some of us still in the crying corner, people who've made an error in judgment. Sometimes people present who they want you to believe they are as opposed to who they really are. Mm-hmm. I will say you can date forever, and I also say, you don't know anybody until you live with them. Yes. All right? So, and I'm speaking to my friends with the long distance relationships, and we've been together 5 years, kind of, sort of. You know what I mean? Or one of my buddies that she'd been dating the same woman 7 years and never knew that her girlfriend had someone else living with her. Wow. I said, how did she pull that off? Right, you know what I mean? And, because the thing is, she wasn't in town all the time. You know what I mean? They planned vacations together, this and that. It had to
be a long distance relationship.
Of course it was. Of course it was. If
I come through, I'm a no.
Yeah, right. That is not my perfume.
Right.
So seriously, it's we've seen so much heartbreak in our community, and I think it's just because we want love so much. There's most of us, as you go through this thing called life, most of us simply want love, be loved, and be remembered. Yeah. And oftentimes we declare it too quickly. I've known her all of 11 weeks, and I think we ready. We ready to go from 0 to 530 to 5,000. Come on in, come on over, come move in. Y'all know about us with the U-Haul, the U-Haul syndrome. You know, we want what everybody else wants.
Right.
You know, we want to wake up to somebody who cares for us, loves us, knows where your birthmark is, know that you're scared of scary movies. You know, the 1,001 things that make you you, and the things that you exchange to someone who you want to come into your life. Right. Let's say you know all of that and your heart is telling you, this is it. Can you trust your heart? Okay, well, let's be logical.
Well, you got to look back on where your heart is taking you before, because sometimes
I like that. I like that. Where has your heart taken you before?
Right. I mean, a lot of people look at it and be like, I always get with the ones who needy. I always get with the ones who greedy. I always get with whoever, you know. And you try to change that pattern. So where has your heart taken you before? Mm-hmm. And if it's the same place, it's like, oh, well, maybe it's not the one, because my heart's been here before. You know, maybe you need a different feeling to know that it's the one.
And then so if I can't trust my heart, well, you know, you analytical ones out there, you brain matter people, you know, like, you know, okay, well, I'm going to do some deep thinking about it. And, you know, your mind remembers what made it feel good. Yeah. You know, and that's great for good feelings. All right. But, you know, when you're trying to get your mind to talk to your heart, and let's start that argument, right? But I love her. Yeah, but she's unemployed. She has 7 children, and I think she's doing crack. You don't understand. She's had some problems. Because I always tell Rosa, I say, you can rationalize anything. You can rationalize any behavior, any situation you're in. You can explain yourself into it or out of it.
Absolutely.
According which direction you want to go. But seriously, you know, when you're having that, you're getting ready to make one of the most important decisions that you'll ever make in your life, and that is, am I going to marry this person? That's one of the biggest decisions we make, other than buy a home or have children and things like that.
But even if you don't want to marry, if you can see yourself married to that person, then that's a big thing too. Like you can see yourself in the future with them. Then it's kind of like, you know, that
helps. That helps. I think that's another stone on the right side. Okay. Yeah. You know, I will tell you this. Look, I like what Rosa just said a few minutes ago. Like, where has your heart led you before? What happened to your last 3 relationships?
Right.
If you had any, okay, or your last 3 hookups or connections or whatever. You know, whether she stayed for 7 days or 11 months, it was a connection. Something was holding each other, the two of you, in the same space at the same time, maybe for different reasons. Right. So how do you know? Go to your recent past. But I do think it really starts with knowing yourself. Yeah. So before you're trying to attach yourself for the rest of your life or the next 17 years to this sweet thing that got a tattoo of your name right across her shoulder, all of that, you need to know who you are. What do you really want? Right. If you do not want to be hooked up, booked up, and be exclusive and do laundry together and take vacations together and wake up to each other in the morning, maybe you're not that person. So maybe the issue is not even about her. It could be you. So before you're looking at all the list of why you want her, I would say you do the self-examination. Right. You know, and, you know, are you ready? Do you really want to do, what does marriage look like to you? What happened to your last 3 deep connections? So let's just say you weren't married before, but you want to be. Because oftentimes I think like people, sometimes they get so wrapped up into the idea of a wedding, they're not really thinking about the marriage. Right. You see what I'm saying? Well, we gonna kick it. We gonna have 5 limousine, and everybody's gonna be dressed in cream and milk chocolate. Wonderful. But the bottom line, how's your relationship? Right. Oh, that bitch been getting on my nerve. Okay. Or whatever. You know, like, I don't think y'all ready for that, but you're ready for the ceremony. You ain't really ready for the marriage. Right. You know, you want to say something?
No.
Yeah. So you know, so I just feel like it starts with, if you're wondering if she's the right person, find out who you are and what you really want, where you're at in your life, what are your expectations, what is your needs as opposed to your wants. How deep are you really ready to go? Because marriage is a serious thing.
Yeah.
And you know, look, I know we're living lesbian land, but we're no different from anybody else.
Right.
Sometimes we wind up marrying two people that we should have merely dated.
Absolutely. And sometimes too, if you're still friends with some of your exes, ask them. Sometimes they, if you don't know where to start in finding like why you connect to the people that you connect to, because some people are not intuitive like that,
Right, right.
And I'm not for a lot of things, but if I start writing them down and just looking at them and then figuring it out, then it kind of connects. But at the same time, in that department, I'm very intuitive, but in other things I'm not. So, I mean, it just depends on what is your strong point.
Right.
Start with people who know you.
Right. Your friends, your good friends.
I remember, I remember when this woman that I met online wanted to, date and stuff. And we went on like 2 dates. Well, 1.5, because one really wasn't a date. But whatever. So I just thought well, first of all, she wasn't that attractive. Nice person, though.
To you.
Just wasn't attractive for me.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, she went from 0 to 60, and I'm just saying in a day. And I'm just like, wait a minute, hold up. Whoa, let's talk some more. She wanted to just do, and I'm like, hold up. So
had your relationship planned out?
Exactly. And I just thought it was just too much too soon. And so it was, that turned me off. And I could remember she and I stayed friends, and she was engaged to someone else, and they stopped through one time. They came through Oceanside and stopped through, and I entertained them for like 1.5 hours. They got in their car and continue on. And then she stopped through again one time. She was with her daughter, and we were talking about relationships, and I told her she just goes too quickly. And her daughter agreed. She was like, I tried to tell my mom that. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to hurt her feelings, but we were having the conversation, and it was a good time that it came up, and I had no hard feelings, about what happened between her and I. We could be friends. I don't have no problem being friends with anybody.
Right. And excuse me, for the purpose of your story, 2 dates or a date and a half does not constitute a relationship.
Exactly.
But maybe in her mind it does, right?
And I just told her, I said, you was just, I didn't tell her I didn't find her attractive, but I did tell her that I just thought she moved way too quickly, and she did. And I think that she does that in all the relationships. Because when I see her now on Facebook and stuff, like, oh, I'm engaged, and now you don't hear anything, and she's not with the woman, and blah 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 blah.
Right.
And it happened like 3 times since I've known her. So I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
So she ain't ready to slow down?
No.
Apparently, she's still moving quick.
Yeah.
But that's on her.
Right.
I have given you the information. What you do with it is what you do with it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And so, as we're saying, it's like maybe have someone in your life that you really, a true friend, a person that knows you, got your best interests at heart, and ain't going to broadcast it and all that. Like, you really want to know, like, hey, what do you think about Lillian? We've been dating 6 months now, but I want to, we think about living together, whatever it is. So this is way before even marriage, because like I said, time is on a different continuum in lesbian land, because we go from 0 to 5,000 in just 1 month, right? So anyway, so how do you know? So let's say your friends give you good information, or your family, or the people who you trust with, your business, if you will. And they give you some good information, and you may choose to or not to heed it. You know what I mean? I think she's too young for you. I think she's very selfish. She seems to drink too much, and you guys always have a fight on Friday night, every other Friday night. When somebody knows your business like that and try to tell you, like, this is what you want to marry, you need to look at that.
And you need to hear it.
Yes.
You need to hear it. Or don't even ask them for their opinion.
And so I said, as we started taping, was that, like, first of all, you need to know you. Right. I hear some of my friends like, I'm just tired of being alone. I just want to be with somebody. Well, okay. Anybody? You know what I mean? They because we're at a heightened sense of readiness. We want to go from 0 to 50 real quick, because what you have the hunger. You're looking for someone to be in your life to fill that void, make you feel better, and get on with the little things that you say you deserve in this life, which is a loving relationship.
Right.
And even if you don't have one, you're going to try to convince yourself that you do have one at any cost. So the question still is there: how do we know? You know, I think, like I said, one, I think it begins with you knowing who you are, what you want, your expectations. You know, well, I don't know what I want, but she sure is gorgeous. Well, gorgeous is nice. Gorgeous, you know, it's good to look at gorgeous, but surely you want more than that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care as long as she's young. Oh, now we got young and gorgeous. Well, there's a bunch of them out there, but that does not always spell happiness, does it?
Right.
You know what I mean? So let's get real with it. You know, when you're talking about being together, being forever, this is your forever date. You know, there's no need to try to treat this lightly because it's not. It's very, very heavy. You know what your past has been. You're living in your own present. And what you're doing is flirting with the best visualized picture of what your future can be. And you want it to be with this person. Now, you need to go back a few steps and check it out. Like, what did you do in the past?
Right.
Okay. And what are you doing right now? Right? Sometimes, you know, you're a good fisher person. You know, I'm a good fisherman. I just need to change my bait. I don't know where you're at because I don't know that, but we all have friends and we're all living our own lives. So like I said, first take your own temperature. Who am I? Where am I going? What do I want? And am I ready to even allow somebody to come in my life? I had met one lady, you know, a long time before Rosa. I met one woman and she said, "You seem very nice." She says, but I'm at the bottom. She was at the bottom half of her very nasty divorce, and she was trying to get sober at the same time. There is no room for me in your life. Yeah. I wish you the best toward, you know, reaching your sobriety, and I hope things work out as y'all, you know, I hope you guys separate with love. Right. You know, that could, because so sometimes you run into a person, the idea is great, she's not ready. Right. She's not available.
And then timing, it may not be right. I mean, just because you meet somebody, how that saying goes, if you love somebody, you set them free if they come back. You know, I mean, if you meet them again and they're in a different time in their life and you were in a different time in your life, it might be the right time then.
Yeah. Yeah, as I say, sometimes the universe is not telling you no. It just says not right now.
Exactly.
Just not right now. You need to do a little bit more homework on yourself. Oh, but I want what everybody else wants. Everybody else getting married. Everybody else is going on the honeymoon to Costa Rica. I want to go too, because don't I deserve love? So, I mean, not to be corny about it, but that's what we want, what everyone else wants.
Right.
Because we're human.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, first of all, before you even think about going any further, look at your past, take your own temperature. Now, if you still got wrinkles and issues and things weighing upon you heavy, this is a good time for you to revisit that. Right. I met another young lady, just again, years ago, was out there dating, and she told me that she was, she didn't have cancer, she had another really
form of it.
You know, and I'm like, okay, she said, I just want you to know right now, and I'm going through some, you know, she was going through some medical procedures and everything, and she said, I just want to date and go out and have fun. And, you know, I met her once or twice, and that's all we did. Wasn't looking for nothing else, but all she wanted to do was have a little fun because she had been through so much with her medical procedures. Right. You know, so it was like, hey, this ain't long, look, this ain't going to be long, Sharyn. You seem very nice, let's go out. And as I met her during that time of life, that's what she was into. Be honest about it. Right. Like I say, the answer ain't no. It's just not her, not right now. She's busy trying to get her health together. Right. Does that make sense? You know, but sometimes we force it. If it doesn't fit, we will force it. Yeah. You know, because we want it so much. So, so with that, we want to continue that stream of thinking. But Rosa and I would like to offer how we did it. I ain't gonna say wrong. I'm gonna say if we had to do it again, we might have. I think we missed a couple of steps.
Well, ours was a little different too because you were retiring, so that had a lot to do with it. But, you know, I mean, like Sharyn was saying, there may not be any way of knowing if, you know, if you found the right one. Mm-hmm. And for me, it really wasn't. I thought Sharyn was nice. I thought she was very intuitive of who she was, what she wanted out of the relationship. I loved her humor. There was just a lot about her that put her above everybody else that I've dated. Mm-hmm. And at that point, you know, when you realize that, for me, I'm thinking, okay, I need to investigate this a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? I need to know, so I was intrigued. I really was. And I wanted to find out who she was. And so that's why, I decided we're going to date, and well, we both decided that. And so it wasn't like butterflies at the beginning. It was more so, I really like this person. And, Sharyn grows on you. I'm just trying to tell you, she's so persistent too. That was one of the things too. She just like, when can I call you again? When can we see each other again?
Right, my first date, and she like, look at me,
like, let's just talk again.
This may be your first and only date.
Yeah, let's just talk and see. But it was good, and it wasn't like oh, she getting on my nerve type persistent. It was just like it was cute. Very cute.
One thing I will add to that is one of the first things we did. Rosa was she had a friend that lost a parent, and she was driving all the way up to San Francisco to to be there for her, and she had the kids with her. And I said, well, that's very nice. I said, y'all must be pretty good friends. She said, yeah, she's a very nice person. So Rosa and I, as she's driving, the kids are sleeping back. I'm in San Diego. She's on her way up to San Francisco, and we stayed on the phone for over 4 hours. I mean, just talking in the middle of the night as she's driving to San Francisco from Oceanside, and she got to the point where she said, Sharyn, I have to get off the phone. I'm out of gas, and my battery's going to, I got to recharge my phone. And I said, okay, but when can we talk again? And I'm sure she's looking like, talk again? You done talked enough for the last 10 years, right? So when I got off the phone, and I said to myself, when was the last time I had such an honest, funny, nice, easy conversation with any woman for more than 20 minutes, more or less 30, but to talk for 4 hours, and she wasn't boring me. I didn't think I knew I wasn't boring her, but we laughed, we joked, we asked questions, and it was nice. It was very, very nice, and I was like, that was very telling for me. Very telling. And what I did like also during that conversation I remember so well is that I would ask her, because you don't know each other, but I would say I didn't want to be perfect, but can I ask you this, or may I ask you that, and what happened to that, and those kind of things, but without being intrusive, and it was good. It was very, very good, and she answered every question that I asked. That's what
that's one of the things too.
Everybody else trying to be so everybody's trying to be so slick, and I don't know, that's too deep. Whoa.
Yeah, and when you say that I answered every question, I do that because if I ask you a question, I would like for you to answer it too. I mean, everything that is asked is not behind something. Somebody's really probably trying to get to know you, and you don't know what their triggers are and what they're looking for. So you just answer the question as best you know how.
And if it's too personal, or if I don't need to know, you can tell, hey, that's a little deep.
We can talk about that a little later or something.
Yes.
Just,
Yes.
That is one turn off for me. If somebody acting like they so mysterious and they can't do it's like, we are getting to know each other.
Or trying to.
Now, if you don't want to, why are you online? Why are you even looking for somebody? And why are you saying you're looking for somebody when you're really not? Because you can't be looking for somebody when you keep closing up the door and they can't get in.
Right.
Like, you want to invite them over, but the door is locked. Really?
And for people who don't know, we did meet online. I guess it's 7 years almost ago. And so any event, the hesitation for me as we're talking about how do you know, I knew before Rosa, but I didn't know instantly, and I had some stuff to get through because my thing was I had a pinch my stuff that there was the age gap. I'm 17 years older than Rosa, and I'm just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I like youth. I can appreciate it, but
17 years.
Yeah, I am technically old enough to be, So, so that was my own pinch, my own stuff. And when I was bringing it up to Rosa, and I said, it's the age thing for me. And I said, though, I don't think I'm tripping it. She said, it sounds like you are. She said, well, I've dated women in their 60s before. Yeah. And so.
And she was bringing it up so much, like every time she's like, well, and I'm like, I think think you're tripping the age thing. It's not that big of a deal, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I didn't necessarily want to be dating somebody over 60, but that's my package and it was what I needed. And I didn't see that. And that's the thing. Sometimes we don't see what our package is going to be and we're trying to cut things off. And if the person is, making you feel some type of way and it's a good feeling, just go with it. Who cares what they look like, what they got, what they don't have, what they shape it? Who cares about that? That's just so superficial. Just go with it.
Yeah.
Go with it. I would.
Yeah, so respecting that, and I had to put, like I said, I had to do some deep tissue stuff with my own self, not the bad stuff, but it was just stuff that, like, you're going to have to release yourself from some of this. You know what I mean? If you're looking for a rich person and you fell in love with the waitress at the corner Denny's, who I assure you is probably working for tips. Seriously, like you said, I dig her, but she's in the wrong economic line for me,
If she's for you,
she's for you.
You will help her on the come up.
Right.
You don't have
well
to.
said.
Don't have to. She's just not gonna stay where she is, and you never know what she's working at Denny's for. She might be in law school.
Right. And as I was kidding with a friend of mine, I said, I don't know who she is, but I don't care if the woman who's supposed to be with me. I don't care if you're working at 7-Eleven, sweetie. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for you by the Slurpee machine. Okay. I don't trip that. But the people who do. So things like that, you need to ask yourself how you really feel about it, because you're getting ready to connect with a person who may not be a match with you in all categories. Yeah. With Rosa and I, it was the age thing, but me tripping it more than she did. Does that make sense? And then your friend's gonna crack. You know what I mean? As one of my friends say, we don't know how old she is, but we know how old you are. So, and then they met her, and she won them over and everything, and not putting that much responsibility with my friends, but my true friends, I do respect their opinion. Yeah. I do,
as we all do.
We got one or two
that
maybe one or two people who I respect you. And I know you don't mean no harm to me, right. And you're not being wicked or vicious. It's just like, Sharyn, you remember the stripper that was on crack? I'm like, yeah, but don't start talking history, right. But seriously, whatever it is, so we're saying first, look at yourself and what do you want? And I just wanted the happiness, and I thought I had worked on myself enough that I thought I would be a very good package for someone. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I didn't know me, I would date me. You know what I mean? Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I know I'd be fun at least. Yeah. So
that's actually a good concept to even have. I mean, if you know who you are, would you date you? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Or someone very similar to you. Yeah.
I'm a Gemini. She's an Aries, and it's a real good. It's a good match. She's fire. I'm air. She heats my air up, and I cool down that fire. Sometime you just got to go there with an Aries. You just got to go there with an Aries, okay? So what we're talking about today, how do you know? I don't think all the time that we do know, but you have to trust one in your own. You got to trust your gut. You got to look at your own experiences. What I know, what do I know so far? What have I learned about this thing called life? Things are not always as they appear to be. Things like that. You got to spin back that wonderful footage from your life, right. As you thinking about even that you've met somebody and you're talking about joining her in a very legal sense in this wonderful matrimony. And like I said, so many of us get wrapped up about the ceremony and the wedding and all that as opposed to the marriage.
Absolutely.
And
sometimes, even when you say, trust your gut, yeah, that too. But sometimes you have to come outside your box too. Stop just saying one certain woman is what you need, because that may not be the package. It may not be the tall, blonde, blue-eyed woman that you're looking for. She might be short, brunette with brown eyes. Yeah. It's okay. And might be true. The one for you, So
and we get so wrapped up on the package, it's got to come and it's got to be in a red shiny box with a white bow. It may be in a burlap bag sitting behind the tree, right. And you don't walk past it 4 times a day because it's like, It's a burlap bag. I don't do burlap. And then, right? You know what I mean? We do that. We get very dismissive sometimes.
Yeah.
And we'll oftentimes miss our own good fortune.
Absolutely.
From overthinking it and not trusting your own gut.
Absolutely.
I know when Rosa and I met, I know I liked the way she treated me, you know, and I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed, you know, she was so available with who she is. You know me, she wasn't trying to do the dance of the nine veils and be mysterious and, you know, quote shit she don't understand. You know what I mean? I'm like, just go on and be you, boo. Just go on and be, and that's what I liked about you. And so how did we get from that point in our relationship to married, and it'll be 6 years in August.
Well, our situation is definitely unique. It's definitely unique.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that we say, don't try this at home, because we wouldn't recommend it. What did we do?
And it's just fortunate that it has worked out, because you just never know. Exactly.
God.
You just never know. But, you know, knowing Sharyn for 6 months and getting married to her, that definitely, I stepped out of my box for that, because the old Rosa, that would have never happened.
Never.
I'm like that. I need to take my time. I need to, you know, my kid's father, we dated for 10 years before we got married. Not that it needed to take 10 years, but that was just how, you know, and he proposed 3 times, you know, before we actually got married. So it wasn't that I was looking even to marry anybody. It just was the way it happened. And because Sharyn was 17 years older, you know, she was doing things. She was at a phase in her life where I wasn't there yet. And just by her retiring from the Port of San Diego, she kind of was trying to set things up. Like, I know I see you in my future as I saw her in mine. And it was like, if we're going to get married, whether it's a year later or 2 years, let's do this to be able to set things up.
Right.
So fortunately,
what you waiting for?
So fortunately for us, it worked out. But I know people who, you know, have gotten married, you know, 3 and 6 months and they're still together. But I know people who've done it and they're not. So it just depends on, you know, who you're with and what you know. But what I knew about Sharyn and those in that small amount of time was enough for me to know that I felt like I that she was authentic, you know, in what I did see, because a lot of what I do is observe. I will ask you a question that has nothing to do with anything, and you're just like, why is she asking that? Because it depends on how you answer that.
Yeah,
and
we do.
And she was always just authentic. All of her stuff just added up, and it was good for me.
And I told her, I said, I wouldn't lie. I said, I'm not a liar. I said, I'm painfully honest, as she is too, in a pow kind of way, Aries, right? You know what I mean? I just had to slide that in, you know. But it was like I said, and if you are going to be a liar, you got to have a good memory. I said, baby, I'm 60.
Which I do not.
Right. But I'm saying I'm 60 years old, honey. I ain't got time to play. I really don't, you know. And even though I knew it. It came to me and so it was just a time in my life. It was a good fit. I had dated crazy daisies, and you know, just wow. When I roll back my own footage, like whoa, you know. And then I just got real serious and I said, just stop. I'm deserving of something good. God is wonderful, and you know, and I'm just saying, please. You know what I need. I knew I had written, you know, my affirmations all over the house and everything. And as I tell, you know, my friends quite publicly, like Rosa was 11 of the 10 things that I was looking for.
Right.
And I knew it. And so with that, you know, we got married. And so where's the error at? What could we have done differently? Well, we have 2 children. Rosa has 2 kids, and I don't do children well. I didn't think it was my strong point. It was a big one. Yeah. And we almost the train almost left the track.
Yeah, and I didn't, you know, I never had anybody that I dated, because when Sharyn and I met, the kids
were here.
Yeah, they were here, but they were getting ready to leave for that summer or something.
Right.
So,
right.
Like,
we had
didn't
the summer,
see them
yeah.
much, and
Right.
then they left for the summer to go with their dad, and then we actually got married during the time they were gone. And so it was almost like when they came back, I just thought it would be okay, like, hey, we're blended. And, so with some wrinkles, they were looking at her crazy. She was looking at them crazier. And I'm just looking at both of them like, really?
Yeah.
So it thank God it has worked out. But, that was the biggest challenge. So what we could have done is, I could have seen Sharyn around my kids more, but I was trying to get to know Sharyn first. So I didn't want her, like, in my kids' life so much, because if it's not going to work out, I don't want her to be in their life and
right
gone.
and right.
So,
get attached.
But the fact that we had to do what we had to do while they were away, just kind of accelerated a lot of the things that normally takes time
to
manifest in a relationship.
Right.
So that's just that. We wouldn't suggest anybody do that, because you just never know how it's going to work out.
And you might ask, how old were the children? So at the time, 9 and 12.
I believe they were 9
about
and 12.
So so that's an interesting age. You know what I mean? They're not teenagers yet. They're not babies either. But you know what I mean. So blah 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 blah. It was a lot on me, because I felt like, oh my gosh, I've been hired, but I might lose the job. But I felt like I was on probation. That's what I
knew. You were. You got that probation period, and y'all know when you get married, you can get it annulled within a year. So if you marry less than a year, you can get it annulled.
You were like, we thought it was a good idea. Yeah, not so much now.
Yeah.
So we did, and some of the things that was making, like I say, was making us accelerate it, I believe, because like I said, I was getting ready to retire. Then it was a thing of, some things needed to be taken care of now. I didn't want to wait another 3 years to find out what I ain't going to marry this woman.
Right.
And if not, we could be friends and I go on and live my little happy single life. So it didn't happen that way, and I ain't want nobody else I ain't want her dating these old lesbians. That I'm one of, right? I ain't want one of my
lesbians in lesbian land.
Yeah, I ain't want somebody to come and scoop her up. So anyway, so that's how it happened, and we just been very, very, very blessed. And one of the things long before we started doing the show was just it is all about a conversation, and even all conversations aren't great or friendly or sweet and kind.
Right.
Some conversations that just have to be had.
Right.
And I felt that I wasn't doing so well on the. I thought they were gonna make me Mommy Dearest or something, like, we don't like the way she cooked. She made us eat the pancakes, whatever.
Right.
So anyway, so back to you out there, we're talking about how do you know? And I'm maintaining that you don't always know, but you gotta, but you gotta trust your gut, your feelings, and look at your own history and ask yourself, what do you want? Mm-hmm. Sometimes we're looking for the right thing just in the wrong place.
Yeah.
It just is. So with that, we have no snappy little solution to put in a shell, and that's the way it goes. Every relationship is different. Every woman is different. You know that. Sometimes.
And even I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And even with us, when we got married, the fact that she still, because we had a reception a year later, so the fact that we both still wanted a reception, it was good. I knew it was heading in a better direction at that point, because a year had gone by. I could have just been like, yeah, we good.
This ain't working, boo.
We good.
No.
But we did. So
Deuces.
We had the wedding, and then a year later, we had the big reception where we invited everybody who thought it was the wedding.
And there was a relocation, because she was in Oceanside, I was in San Diego. So
we had to combine homes and all of that. So it just was a lot. But, you all just have to figure out, what works for you, and, and figure out how do you know. I mean, I don't know.
No, it's not. It's not either you don't. But I tell you what, think about it and think about it deeply and hard, and be honest with yourself. You know what I mean? If you struck out the last 3 times with people who you wasn't even that serious about, what's going to change now?
Right.
Because you are what you do repeatedly.
Absolutely.
So as we're sharing with you today, some of our experiences, the question with the question today and the whole episode is about how do you know? And like I say, for me, my money is on you don't really know, but do take your time.
Yeah.
And learn from your own mistakes and reevaluate what you are looking for and what you want and what you're willing to do to get it. Take your time. There is no rush. You know, we have our own internal clock. Oh my God, I'm 35, I'm not married. Oh, I'm 40, I don't want to die an old, lonely lesbian. So with that, you know, we just want to tell everyone, you know, like every week, you know, we're wishing you the very best.
Of all good things, stay safe and stay woke. And just so you all know, I will put Sharyn's number in the write-up just so you'll have it if you can't find the flyer on the community page.
Yeah, yeah.
So we hope we see you at the party. Thank you.
See you next time.